This is the 10 biggest financial mistakes that young Canadians make in 2026. Starting off with number 10, we have comparing themselves to others. Young people are particularly bad for this because they are on the internet where they have more insight to everybody else's lives than all of history. Have you ever heard the saying that comparison is the thief of all joy? This is because every time you compare yourself to somebody, you're putting yourself down. Every time you compare yourself professionally, compare your relationships, compare your financial status, compare your social status, you start to feel more and more behind. Social media can create pressure to buy homes more quickly, drive expensive cars, travel constantly, or appear wealthy. This trend is called keeping up with the Joneses, where you feel the need to be on par with your peers because they feel or appear to be doing better than you. But what many people don't realize is that many of those people who appear to be doing better than you actually aren't doing better than you. They just show it that way on social media and perceive an image to the public. Whether it's somebody who's flaunting as a business owner, but not showing the true cost of doing the businesses, somebody who is flexing on Instagram with expensive cars and jewelry, but don't show that they went into debt to get it. It is subjective what you see on the internet, and it's not just the internet. It's also in person. Your friends start to gamble, so you want to gamble too. Your friends start to own cars, so you want to own cars too. Your friends go to school, so you want to go to school too. That need to keep up and do the same things and acquire the same things that everybody else has around you in your life and is flaunting in front of your face. That is comparison bias, and it makes you want to be on par with the people around you, even if the people around you are secretly not on par with you. Debt is invisible as much as wealth is. You don't know how much money somebody has, and you don't know what they do in their free time. So when you stare on Instagram and you compare yourself professionally or in any other way, financially, any way possible, you're only harming yourself. If you're a tattoo artist and you're looking at other tattoo artists that are doing better than you, you are always going to feel less than. And that is the 10th mistake that young Canadians make, comparing themselves to others, which increases your need to spend. Number 9 is having no emergency fund ready for emergencies that may arise. Without cash reserves, job losses, car repairs, dental bills in Canada, and unexpected moves often end up on high-interest debt. A modest emergency fund can prevent years of financial setbacks. So, having an emergency fund for yourself of 3 to 6 months, 2 to 6 months, whatever you can afford, of living expenses defined by your budget, held in a high-yield savings account, keeps these emergency moments at bay, creates a buffer for you so that you don't need to tap into your finances, so that you have to sell off stocks or assets or investments inside of your brokerage in order to get through an emergency period. You want to have that emergency fund on hand when the emergency happens, increasing at a rate that slightly beats inflation or is equal to inflation. So it's in a high yield savings account. It's not invested. The reason for this is because you do not want to leverage debt. You do not want to leverage debt if you have to have an emergency dental bill. You do not want to have to leverage debt if you have to change your jobs. You want to have that money available to you so that you have a seamless transition, whatever the emergency is. Somebody passes, a pet passes, whatever it is. You want to be able to have the liquidity and the money available to you in an instant. You don't want it to be in stocks, because what if stocks are down? Are you going to sell your Google or TD shares when they're at a negative amount or a very low amount? No, you want to hold on to them forever until you're very old, obviously, and ready to retire. Number 8 is ignoring career development. Early career income growth can have a bigger impact than optimizing investments themselves. Young Canadians sometimes spend years avoiding certifications, networking, professional licenses, and skill development. It's very important to build yourself a financial base so that you can invest heavily, so that you can invest in your future. You want to be able to be a high earner and invest in yourself and invest in your education, invest in side hustles, invest in skills, invest in knowledge, never stop learning. Not investing young enough is one of the main reasons that young Canadians struggle financially. However, getting that foundation under yourself to build a high earning income in order to invest is also one of the things that Canadians tend to lack doing at a young age. Focusing more on these certifications, networking and creating relationships, getting your professional licenses, and utilizing and learning different skills so that you can invest into yourself and into other jobs is incredibly important to consistently keep increasing how much money you are earning, which then consistently keeps increasing how much money you can afford to invest. Number 7 is lifestyle inflation. As your income increases, whether it's from side hustles, employment, or other means, investing, so on, you should be continuing investing, continuing saving, and tackling your debt. Instead, many people increase their vehicle costs, vacations, and consumable goods. This is not the way to build financial independence for yourself as a young Canadian. The rule is that when your money increases, your balance sheet assets go up, not your liabilities. Number 6 is not setting clear financial goals. Chasing hot stocks, crypto, and trends. Many young investors buy their investments after prices have surged. They get FOMO, fear of missing out. They sell after prices have fallen, or they jump between strategies because they're a new investor, which is understandable. The excitement of finding the next big thing often underperforms consistent investing in diversified funds. A young worker who wants to own assets needs to understand what their financial goals actually are, what they want to achieve with that wealth, and how they're going to achieve that wealth. You have to identify and fix habits that negatively impact your finances, create a personal balance sheet that defines your assets versus your liabilities. Anything that puts money into your pocket is an asset, and anything that takes money out of your pocket is a liability. Create a budget to identify unnecessary expenses and poor financial habits. The money that is saved utilizing the budget can be rerouted from unnecessary purchases to assets. If no money can be saved living paycheck to paycheck, all money goes to expenses of living, then you may need to increase your income by either increasing your education, increasing your skill set to achieve higher paying jobs, creating side hustles, or starting self-owned businesses. Increasing income by creating a side hustle and getting an additional job are some of the easiest ways to bring more finance into your life without having to go to school or get a professional certification or leverage debt or run an opportunity cost because you are in school and you're not working. So chasing hot stocks, crypto, and trends, but also just not understanding your financial goals and your investment strategy is the 6th biggest mistake that impacts Canadian finances. You need to be chipping away at your debt until it is tackled. You need to create an emergency fund and hold it in a high yield savings account. You need to identify your risk tolerance to decide how risky you would like to be with your investments. You need to understand what investments you want to go into. And if you want to play secular trends or global diversification or so on and so forth, you need to understand why you're doing these things and how you're going to achieve these things. Number 5, short and simple, keeping all savings in cash. Some people save diligently, but never invest. Inflation quietly erodes purchasing power. A young person with decades before retirement often has the ability to tolerate more market volatility than they realize. Your risk tolerance as a young person is infinitely higher than your risk tolerance as an older person. You need to be taking advantage of your time. Your time is your biggest asset. So, keeping all your money in cash, keeping all the money that you earn using your time in cash as it devalues over time is not making sense. It's not making you money, and you need your money to work for you in order to compound. Keeping your money in cash ensures that it is only dying to inflation, taxes, and bank fees yearly. You want to make it work for you and only benefit you as soon and as young as possible. Number 4 is not utilizing their tax-free savings account, the TFSA. Many young Canadians don't realize how powerful the TFSA truly is. It is the strongest wealth building tool in Canada, in my opinion. It grows tax-free. It allows tax-free withdrawals without penalization. You don't have to wait until you're 60 to take it out. You can watch my TFSA video, which I will link if you are interested in learning more. But there is so much about this that people do not understand. Many people open a TFSA and they never buy assets. They just leave it in cash. For many younger investors, a TFSA is often the first account to prioritize. You don't need a first home savings account. You don't need a retirement account. You need tax-free growth for your entire compounding life. Number 3 is financing vehicles that they can't comfortably afford. A common pattern is you get your first decent job, buy a new vehicle with a $600 to $1,000 monthly payment, and your vehicle is often the second largest expense after housing. Many people delay wealth building because their cash flow is tied up in car payments. You can't really have much to invest when you're living paycheck to paycheck between your bills, expenses, and liabilities. So if you have a car that is making you live outside your means, or a house that's making you live outside your means, or your consumerism is making you live outside your means, that is the first space to downsize. And many people don't realize that your vehicle depreciates in value as soon as you drive it off the lot. You will never get the full price that you spent for it again. It makes so much more sense to buy a car that will get you from point A to point B that does not look flashy, that is not brand new, a nice reliable Honda, Toyota, whatever it is that is easy to source parts, reliable and cheap. It is so crucial as a young adult to make sure you can live within your means, whether it's housing, cars, consumerism, it does not matter. Vehicles are one of the reasons why Canadians fall behind the fastest. As soon as they get out of high school, they get a job and they get a vehicle. That vehicle car note ties them down for years. Number 2 is carrying credit card debt, utilizing payday loans or pay later methods such as Klarna, or utilizing leverage. Many people are living outside of their means when they are taking on debt, and by taking on debt in order to live your daily life, you are only compounding that financial frustration into your future. Sure, your portfolio could grow at 10% annualized returns, but if you're paying 23% interest on your credit card every month, you're probably net negative on your profits. You understand? So balancing out and not overutilizing and living outside of your means, not having too much consumption debt, not having credit card debt, not utilizing payday loans, pay later methods, or utilizing leverage is the second biggest reason why Canadians struggle financially. And the number one reason why people struggle financially in Canada, especially Canadian youth, is because they're waiting too long to start investing. Many people think I'll start when I make more money. The problem is that time is more valuable than contribution size. Somebody investing $500 a month at 22 can end up with substantially more wealth than somebody who starts at 30, even if the later investor contributes more. And many people do not realize that the retail worker who is 17 years old, 18 years old, 19 years old, saving up money, opening up a brokerage and getting ready to invest has a better start, even if the amount of money is lower than the person who is 30, who is an electrician, who is a welder, who is putting the max amount of contributions that they can, because the time is what matters. The earlier you get invested, the earlier you are winning. And the number 0 bonus reason why all Canadians struggle financially is because a lack of financial literacy due to the school system, due to the systems that were taught to our parents, due to the knowledge that was passed down to us, due to all the bad habits that we picked up from the people around us or created ourselves. Financial literacy is the number 1 reason why Canadians are struggling with finances, because they lack it, because they lack financial literacy. If you teach yourself how to increase your wealth, what your goals are, and create a plan on how to get there, you will be financially free. But if you do not start, if you do not ask yourself these questions or begin attaining the knowledge, you are going to be stuck in that rat race for as long as you are working. And those are the 10, technically 11 reasons why Canadians struggle financially, in my opinion, and the best places for you to start changing your wealth habits right now.